what in the sweet holy ravioli are you talking about, Daryl? What do you mean there's a bunch of people wearing masks?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You are correct. Look, they're all down there.
McFarlane Toys has never made a TV figure of me. There will be no conflict. Andrew Lincoln and Lauren Cohan left the show this season. And Denai Guerrera is leaving next season. There will be no conflict. Daryl, you have not taken a shower in 10 years. There will be conflict.
Yeah.
Who am I? I am Alpha, and I want my daughter.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that they are just having sex on the ground in front of everyone like that. What do they even have in common? Oh, well, I guess it makes sense. They both act like wild animals and they talk weird.
Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here, and this is my review for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 10. I apologize for the delay, but here we go. This episode was really good. I loved it. I think between Episode 9 and Episode 10, we're two episodes into the back half so far. And between Episode 9 and Episode 10, I think I like Episode 10 more. Now, both episodes I want to rewatch. Well, I mean, every episode of Season 9 I want to rewatch. Season 9 has just been great. But with this episode, it was really interesting how they decided to do Alpha's backstory. Well, I mean, I guess it's Alpha and Lydia's backstory. It's very, very different from the comics. In the comics, we barely get backstories or flashbacks. We've gotten a few. I mean, the whole Negan thing. Negan got an entire 12-part mini book about his backstory and what made him become Negan. Negan. And I think we might have gotten a backstory from Michonne, something to that effect. But with Alpha, she was just there in the comics. She was there. She was the new villain. We didn't learn too much about her backstory. We learned some about her backstory, but because of the TV show format, and the TV show does have a tendency to have a lot of flashbacks, we actually got a bunch of flashbacks of Alpha right when the apocalypse started. And keep in mind, now that there's a 6-year time jump after Rick's death or whatever, his disappearance, the show has now been 8 years into the zombie apocalypse, which is really cool. So that's actually really cool. Whenever we meet a new character in the show, it's a character that has survived in the zombie apocalypse for 8 years at least. For some reason or another, they've survived that long. So you're almost never going to meet someone that's inexperienced or that's a coward or that doesn't know how to kill walkers. At this point, if you don't know how to kill walkers, you're probably dead, unless you're like a baby or a 2-year-old. That's the only reason that you would know how to do it. But I'm getting off track. But my point is that it's really cool that we've gone 8 years in the past to see the beginning of the apocalypse, to see Alpha and Lydia. And Lydia is an example of a character that does know how to live in her own way. I mean, yeah, she believes these things that are wrong, and she's kind of a villain right now, but it seems like she might get her comic story arc, which is where she decides to become a good person, and she decides to be a part of Alexandria. But when she was first locked up, she just had this belief of this is just the way it is. I don't know if they're going to follow the Whisperers raping her like they did in the comics, but she seems to have been abused, and she said that she was beat by her mom. So I don't know if that's something that happened in the comics. I do know that Alpha is someone who will protect her daughter no matter what, even if it means subjecting her daughter to bad things if it helps her daughter survive, she'll do it. She'll do whatever it takes to keep her daughter alive, even doing bad things to her daughter. That's just a part of Alpha's character. And yeah, Lydia says that the bruises that she has are from her mom, so I don't know. But the flashbacks were really cool. It was interesting. Alpha's a little different than she is in the comics. I think my interpretation of Alpha in the comics was that she used to be just a normal person, and the apocalypse slowly changed her, and she slowly adapted, and the Whispers was something that happened over time, and everything like that. And she used to be just a normal mother of this little girl, but in the TV show, in these flashbacks, oh my goodness, I mean, she just seems like she always had this just evil or this violence inside of her, and she lets it out. I mean, it doesn't take very long for her to become this violent person that has no problem killing other people if it means protecting herself or protecting her daughter. I mean, I think she kills her own husband in one of the flashbacks. So yeah, she's got like some evil inside of her, and maybe she does want to protect her daughter, but still, it's pretty interesting because it's definitely different from the comics. In the comics, like I said, we didn't get a flashback. We didn't get anything like that. And with Lydia, I mean, she was just like a 6-year-old girl when the apocalypse started. So for her, I mean, she probably barely remembers how things were before. I mean, I guess Henry's kind of the same way, but yeah. This was just a good episode. There were some issues with it. The whole thing with Yumiko saying we should go out and look for Luke in the dark, where we know that there's people wearing dead walker skin, and they killed this badass ninja guy, but who cares about that? We can take care of ourselves. Let's go off into the night. And then 5 seconds later, she's like, oh crap, this is a bad idea, let's go back. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it was stupid for her to go out in the first place in the dark, in the forest, where there's this army of Whisperers that captured people and have killed Jesus, and you think it's a good idea for just Yumiko, Magna, Connie, Kelly, just the 4 of you, you're just going to go out into the wilderness and take on this army of people in the dark, in the forest. And then 5 seconds later, she's like, "Oh, you know how I like guilt trip all of you into helping Luke, and let's all go look for Luke. Well, I've changed my mind. Let's go back." Like, what? That didn't make much sense. And also the little moment where Kelly has like a memory of Luke. I'm not even sure I remember, or I'm not sure I understood what she said, but she said something about Luke. Luke helped her with something, and she just breaks down in tears and says that she can't go back and she has to keep looking for Luke. That just kind of seemed awkward, and it kind of just seemed out of place. I don't know, maybe it was just the way it was filmed. It just seemed out of place and weird. I don't know if I like Kelly that much. In Magna's group, I love every character except for Kelly. Kelly's just kind of okay. I don't know, but I love the other 4. Yumiko's really starting to grow on me in this episode. This was the first episode where she actually got a little bit of screen time. She actually got a few lines. I mean, I think in the first 2 episodes she was practically mute, and in one episode she was unconscious. This was the first episode where she got some material, and I really like her. Other than the whole thing with her being like, let's go out in the forest, where we shouldn't be out in the forest because it's dark, and fight a whole army of people, and the 4 of us just get killed because we want to look for Luke. I changed my mind, let's go back. That kind of was just stupid. I don't know. But other than that, I like her character. I love Magna. I love Connie. I love Luke. Kelly is just kind of I don't know. I mean, they're all still relatively new characters, so if Kelly makes it to season 10, she might grow on me. I don't know. But yeah, I like them as a group. I like the new characters. And another issue I had with this episode was, I mean, I like what they did with Lydia, and holy shit, Cassidy McClincy as Lydia, she is killing it. She is phenomenal. She should get an award for her performance as Lydia. She's doing a really, really good job portraying this sort of. She's you know, she's a 16-year-old girl or whatever, but she's a wild animal in a way. That's the way she acts. I mean, she's been abused, she's been hit and beat a lot, and she acts like it. She eats worms. She's really convincing as this sort of just this wild animal of a person. And you know, I'm very sympathetic to her as a character, but right now she's, you know, this is the way of life for her. She doesn't understand anything else. And I liked her character development, and it seems like they're going to make her a good guy, and they're going to make her, you know, rehabilitate and learn to be a part of the communities of Alexandria, Hilltop, whatever, which is a storyline that Lydia has in the comics. But Lydia's kind of a bitch in the comics, and she's kind of a bitch in the comics. So I'm hoping that she's more likable in the TV show. I'm thinking she will be, because in the first 2 episodes we've had of her so far, she's already more likable than she was in the comics. So I already like TV Lydia more than comic Lydia. So I'm hoping that they continue to make her a likable character, because she's really growing on me. I really like her, and we've only just had 2 episodes of the character. And a big part of that is just how awesome Cassidy McClincy is. She is doing a great job portraying this damaged teenage girl that thinks, that has the beliefs that she has, which is understandable considering the life that she's had, you know, and things like that. And we didn't see certain characters, you know, we didn't see Michonne, we didn't see Negan, we didn't see Judith, Aaron, Rosita, Ezekiel, Carol, but that's okay. This didn't feel like a filler episode. This season has not had a filler episode, in my opinion. Maybe episode 4. Episode 4 seemed a little like there just wasn't that much material, but I might have to get back on that one and watch it again. That would be the only episode that I would even remotely criticize for having filler. The rest of the episodes in this first 10 so far in this season, I've just loved, and it seems like that they don't waste a single second. If anything, they barely have enough time to cover the story that they have. And I've been saying that since season 7. You have all these characters, all these different storylines that you could do. Like literally, with all these communities, these 5 or 6 different communities, there's like 60, 70 different named characters, and you have episodes with filler? You have episodes of nothing but filler? That doesn't... You need to be creative and come up with things to do with your characters. And it seems like Angela King is doing that a lot better than Scott Gimple. Because season 7 especially had some just really brutal filler. But yeah, really good episode. Like I said, there really wasn't much filler. It didn't seem like a single second was wasted. It seemed like, you know, even though we only pretty much focused on, you know, certain characters, and we didn't see most of the main characters in this episode, I wasn't missing them. I was engaged by what was going on in this episode. And with the introduction of Alpha, you know, the proper introduction of Alpha, I'm very intrigued. I like the way she looks. She looks like someone that is out in the wild, that acts like an animal, that's kind of basically just the leader of a pack of wolves or whatever, which is basically what Alpha is. She just has these blank, cold eyes, and maybe in her own twisted way, she cares about her daughter, but she's still a fucked up individual that has no problem killing anyone. And you know, finally seeing her as Alpha, seeing the front of her face, and we saw the back of her head in the teaser months ago, but this is the first time where we really get to see Alpha and, you know, hear her voice and hear her talk, and I'm very intrigued. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I think that she has a lot of potential. I know that her accent is kind of bizarre, and I know at the beginning of this video I made fun of her accent, but I honestly, I like it, you know. I do truly like it. I am really intrigued by what her performance is going to be like moving forward, and I'm sure she's going to make it to season 10. So I'm looking forward to her in the next couple of seasons. You know, her portrayal of this character. I think she's going to do a really good job. I think, her accent's unique, and, maybe it's a little bizarre, but I'd say just, really give it a chance. I think next episode, hopefully, we'll get a lot of lines from her. She'll talk a lot, and maybe then we can really come down to a verdict on whether or not this accent is great, or is it just too weird. Right now, I like it. I think it's good. And I know I made fun of it, but just because you make fun of something, it doesn't mean that you dislike it. I mean, I think Andrew Lincoln had a pretty bizarre accent as Rick, in the first season. I think some people were like, what? And now it's like, oh, he is Rick. He's a genius, and Andrew Lincoln is a genius. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan kind of talks weird as Negan. So I think we should give Samantha Morton a chance as Alpha, and we should give her performance and her accent a chance. I'm really intrigued. I think it's unique. I think it has a lot of potential. I think she has a lot of potential as the next big bad, and I can't wait to see more of her. And I can't wait for this bottom 6 episodes. These last 6 episodes, can't wait. Another criticism I have is when Henry breaks Lydia out, and Lydia is about to hit Henry in the head with a hammer. I was like, dang, a hammer? First of all, I was like, why is no one watching Lydia? How is Henry just able to break her out? Why is no one watching her? I know what's going to happen. She's going to knock him out and she's going to escape. And then she grabs the hammer. I'm like, well, she's going to kill him? She's going to hit him in the head with a hammer. That's harsh. He's been so nice to you. You're going to hit him in the head with a hammer. That sort of thing kills people. You're not always going to be like Troy Otto. Just because Troy Otto survived a hammer to the head doesn't mean everyone's going to survive a hammer to the head. I mean, that's pretty harsh. But then she hears a baby, and it gives her flashbacks or something, and she decides to try to stay with these people, and she wants to go back to her cell. And then it's revealed that Daryl was watching them, so she wasn't completely not being watched. She was being watched by Daryl, but Daryl wasn't even holding his crossbow or anything. He was just hiding in the shadows. Like, if Lydia had hit Henry in the head with a hammer, she might have killed him, Daryl. You might not have had a chance to save Henry. So I don't get that. Can someone explain that to me? I don't understand why Daryl would take that risk. Because she could have killed him. She was about to kill him, and I don't think Daryl would have had enough time to stop her. All it takes is a couple of seconds, boom with a hammer, and Henry could be dead. Daryl didn't even seem like he had his crossbow ready to point at her. So how the fuck was he going to stop her from hitting Henry with a hammer if she had done that? I mean, thank goodness, she changed her mind at the last second, but that just kind of seemed like a pretty glaring plot hole. So, yeah, I mean, this episode has a few flaws, but I think it's really good. Maybe a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed every second of it. Even the flaws I forgive, because I thought it was a good enough episode. Every episode of The Walking Dead does not have to be perfect. It can have some flaws, so I'm okay with it. Like I said, I'm just loving this season. I'm just loving the direction the show has taken. And I cannot wait for the next 6 episodes. Cannot wait for the Heads on Spikes. Oh my goodness, we're gonna meet Beta soon. Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy. That's gonna be great. Can't wait for that. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Wondering what's gonna happen to Luke and Alden. I feel like they're too good for this world. They're both gonna get killed off one way or another. One of them might get killed now. The other might be the head on the spikes. I don't know. Maybe they're the red herrings. Maybe they want us to think, oh, well, Luke and Alden are such obvious, good people. They're going to die because they got captured. Maybe both of them live to season 10. And then it's like the heads on spikes. Those are the real deaths, and Alden and Luke are the red herrings. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my review. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think of the episode in the comments below, and as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 370 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters and is very appreciated. We're getting there. We're close to 400. Can't wait to reach that milestone. So, yeah. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye!